Thank you. Thanks for joining for this World Milk Day webinar. Hearty thanks to Dr. K. Ratnam sir, who is respected CEO of Milky Mist Dairy Private Limited. Good morning, sir. We are very much happy and privileged to have you in this session. This is Gautam here.
Yeah, good morning, Gautam, and good morning to all of you. Vanakkam, namaskar to all the people from outside Tamil Nadu and other southern states. The topic for me today is being a World Milk Day. Let me give you a little bit of background about me. I did my graduation and masters in food and nutrition. Then I joined Amul Dairy in way back in 1995 as a deputy manager product development. And then over a period of time, I grew up in the organization along with the company, along with the cooperative dairy, and I became the managing director between 2014 and 2018. And I had a great opportunity to work with the father of white revolution, Dr. Kurian, Verghese Kurian, and also I had the great time and the opportunity to work with various other stalwarts in the dairy industry for almost 23 years in one of the biggest cooperative dairy. And now I am the CEO of Milky Mist, taking care of all the production and the marketing activities, the entire end-to-end operations. Since you are all young entrepreneurs and waiting out to go and set up some sort of the basic skills, I would like to just give you an overall picture of how the dairy industry evolved in India right from 1947 till now, and what opportunities we have in front of us, and what is the future it holds for the dairy industry, and what we do to move forward. If you look at it, I don't know, most of the people might be knowing. See, dairy in 1947 was just nothing. Dairy in 1955 was nothing. But the actual dairy industry started, the momentum started only in 1955-56, and the biggest breakthrough came in 1965. You all know how Amul got into the cooperative model, and how it progressed, and how it came to become one of the largest cooperative movement in India, and providing millions and millions of people the economic sustainability and the livelihood. Okay. So in 1955, that was the time when the dairy was very small, the industry was very small, when many of the people, the private people were struggling with the milk, yes, what to do, because there was no processing facilities, and there were no regular markets. So that was the time, where Amul came out with the branding of the dairy. And actually the biggest breakthrough came in 1964 and 65, 66. That is when, with the help of the CFTRI and our technocrats, Amul converted buffalo milk into a powder, spray-dried product, milk powder. When the entire international community was saying no, Dr. Kurian made it with his knowledge and with his tenacity and with the support of various people in the industry. And that was the beginning, till now, till then, the milk was only sold as a milk, and there was no way that it could be preserved, for a longer period in the form of dried condition. So that was in 1965 somewhere. And moving forward, it also, all the international community was saying that, India's milk is not good, and it cannot be, no value-added product to be made. So that was the time when again, the Amul got its act together and converted milk into cheese in 1965 precisely. And since then, there was no looking back. But still, There was only one couple of cooperatives in Gujarat and not many. And that was the time when Operation Flood 1 or 2 and 3 got introduced. And it is a food for aid program because a lot of powders and milk fat was with the international community like European Union and the US. So they all were ready to give us free of cost the entire product, and government of India was also ready to buy that, to get that as a free of cost and feed to the needy public. But Dr. Kurian came up with a novel idea that why not that can be given to the NDDB, National Dairy Development, to Amul, or the National Dairy Development Board. And that is how, that was the beginning of establishment of the cooperative dairy system in India, starting from late 1960s, and it went up to 1995. And between 1965 to 1990, there were so much of technological advancements have happened. Spray drying plants were established, milk processing plants were established, and so many, until then, liquid milk and the powders were the mainstay, apart from butter to an extent and the ghee. Then moving towards from 1980s to 1990s, 1990s was the real development in terms of different dairy products. Till then, if you look at it, milk was sold in cans in loose condition, and curd was getting manufactured at every household in India. So 1990s saw milk becoming a packaged commodity. It was packed in polythene pouches and sold in the markets, so that the shelf life of the product could be improved for a couple of days more as compared to the loose milk. And in 1990s was the period where again Amul took a lead of manufacturing curd at an industry level. It was a completely household product. I am still those moments are vivid for me. That people were laughing at, who will eat your curd, who will buy your curd, when curd is a natural product which is getting made, which is getting prepared at home, and no housewife will buy that. And that was a myth, and that myth was completely proven wrong. And now today, curd is one of the largest selling item, the packaged commodity, whether it's in a pouch form or whether it's a set form. And again, 1990s came up with many other products like ice creams and dairy whiteners and various other value-added products. So that was a kind of another the golden period. And paneer was another classic example. Is what was considered to be a loose product getting converted into milk was getting converted into paneer in a very, very kind of an unhygienic way. But again, the industry revolution took place, and paneer became one of the dairy product, a flagship product for many, many dairies, including Milky Mist. Okay. And moving forward, 2000 last 20 years, we have seen a lot of developments in value addition. Now, selling milk as milk is one of the important criteria as far as the Indian consumers are concerned, because most of the middle class and lower middle class people would like to have milk at a competitive price, affordable price, not a competitive, but an affordable price. So even now, the liquid milk sale of liquid milk constitute about 50 to 60% of the total milk procured in India. But at the same time, there are many companies, many private and cooperative dairies now slowly moving away from converting milk into a value-added product. See, value-added products is one of the important mainstay, because selling milk, if any dairy sells only milk, it is bound to undergo a lot of seasonal variations, because sometimes the demand would be high and sometimes the demand would be less. Now look at this last two episodes of this COVID, last year and this year. The liquid milk sale is completely almost down by 30 to 40%. So there is a lot of seasonal variations. So that's why many of the dairies, private or cooperatives, are moving away from not moving away from milk, but converting that extra surplus milk into a kind of a value-added product. And this is the concept which is going to go further. Okay. And now today, look at it. You have n number of products. Every company, every industry has its own, R&D setup and developmental activities to give a better product to the public. Of course, milk is the cheapest source of protein in India so far and till now. It is going to be the same for in the years to come. At the same time, you know, there has to be a kind of a value addition to it to improve its nutritional quality, whether in terms of adding some vitamins and minerals or increasing the protein content in the product. This all is going to improve the overall health and the nutrition of the consumers. So many the developments have taken place, and we are moving from a milk consuming nation to a product consuming nation, like what any other country is in place right now. You can see in Europe, you can see Australia, New Zealand, or you can see US. There, milk consumption may not be very high, but the product consumption is extremely high, and they get a concentrated form of nutrition. Whereas in India, it's a long way to go, but I think we are there, and we are making a statement. And I think probably in next 5 to 10 years time, we will find more value-added dairy products on the shelf than liquid milk per se. Of course, liquid milk consumption is going to be there, and it is going to be the mainstay, because still 30% of the population need a daily dose of a glass of milk every day to meet their nutritional requirements, because everybody cannot afford the value-added products like cheese or paneer or the yogurts and so on, or for that matter, high-protein yogurts or high-protein milk shakes, or the milk products with the addition of various nutrients. So that is going to be a challenge, but still, I think companies are doing a lot of innovation activities in those areas. That how do we improve the intake of more protein in our diet? Because world over, if you look at it, protein is one of the main criteria in the diet which affect the which is the deficiency of enough amount of protein intake leads to various diseases, including the reduction in immune system in the body. So that is how many of the companies are working. How do we improve the calcium content, the mineral content, and the protein content? And a lot of activities are going on, and you will see many products hitting the market in near future. And this COVID has given us a very good opportunity to the industry as well as to the public, that how good you have to eat a healthy food, and how best you should be healthy, and what foods you should take. And similarly, industry is also now realizing that the importance of giving a proper nutritional product to the Indian public, because health is always good health is always essential to fight various diseases, whatever may be, you name it. So there is a lot of amount of product innovations is happening, and like as I said, with many of the developed countries, our country is also now, the companies are also looking at coming out with various products. But still, we may say that in dairy we have only some 20-25 product categories, but there is an opportunity to develop at least 30 to 40 different type of product categories in dairy alone. Not the pack sizes, but at least a difference of around 40 to 50 product categories in the dairy segment alone, which will provide the daily dose of nutrition right from the child to the elderly person. So that is what now we are looking at it. And if you look at it, how the dairy development again got evolved is that there were supply chain constraints earlier, but now with a good amount of infrastructure in terms of roads, connectivity, and with the help of technology, IT, information technology, and with availability of the power, electricity, now we have a complete added advantage of moving product from one corner of the country to another place. Earlier it was not like that. It was very, very difficult to move milk from from Anand, Gujarat, or Ahmedabad to Mumbai. But now the milk could be moved from west to east, almost covering about 3,000 kilometers within 36 to 40 hours. So that is the kind of the infrastructure development which has taken place, which has given us a very huge benefits to the dairy industry and also the food industry. That whatever we harvest, whatever the milking happens at the farm level, could be transported to the dairy plant within 4 to 6 hours of its of milking. But that's a great advantage, because you'll be able to save a lot of milk. The spoilages will be less, and you'll be able to preserve the quality of the milk, and also it will help you. It helps us in improving the process technologies at the plant level. So the supply chain is another kind of an advantage. And as I told you earlier, Indian dairy industry has a lot of responsibilities, whether we like it or not, but we have to do it as an industry to feed the underprivileged people of this 27 to 30% of the population who are below poverty line. And they don't get, though we call it as, we are getting about 390 to 400 milliliters of milk every day per capita consumption. But this is an average per capita consumption which happens. But this is not the case when you look at the people who are living below poverty line, because they don't even get to have 2 square meals or 1 square meal. But where do you get the milk? So the industry or the government or the entire, the stakeholders have the responsibilities to feed to this segment. And when it comes feeding to this segment, it is not only the milk alone, but is there any concentrated form of milk product available, which they can use it, in kind of a tablet or in kind of a pelletized form. You can take a couple of them and put it in the water so that it becomes a glass of milk, and which is also economical, affordable, and reachable to the people where there is less of infrastructure facilities. So that is one area which is going to create a lot of avenues and opportunities for the dairy industry to develop a similar kind of products. Now there are, if you look at it, there are many people who sell their products at 5 rupees or 10 rupees a price point. So someone, a responsible industry, will take up that responsibilities of developing a product at a very, very lower and affordable price for this segment. And as I told you, milk is one of the cheapest source of protein even now. And 1 glass of milk, I don't have to say that, give you around 7 grams of protein, 6.5 to 7 grams of protein. And that would remain, and we should make all our, the entire population to drink at least 1 or 2 glasses of milk every day. That would give a better nutrition and a better health to the public. And as I was telling you, there is an opportunity for a single serve packs, because whatever now the industry is now doing is for a bigger packs for a family of 2 or 4 or 6. Okay, but at the same time, a single serve packs, which a person can go buy for 5 rupees or 10 rupees and use this in their diet on their routine practice, and so that their health could be improved. So that is another area. An important area which the development which has taken place in the dairy sector is the innovations in the packaging development. Gone are the days where we used to get milk in a loose form. We would go with a cup of a small container and buy milk from the can. Or there were products which are available and which were put at the open condition and sold in a few grams to 1 kilo or 2 kilos. Those are the days, those days have gone with the development of the innovations in the packaging, and with getting a packaging technology both within and outside India, and installation and commissioning in the dairy plants, which has given a very good, an opportunity for the dairy industry to pack the products which are very, very hygienic, safe, having a longer shelf life, and could be reached to each and every corner of the country. So a lot of innovations have taken place in those areas. Apart from that, the technology is continuously being evolved, and that is one of the main say. Earlier, we had a kind of a pasteurization or heat treatment of the milk. Now there are technologies, even without involving heat, also you can preserve the milk for a longer period. So a lot of technological advancements are happening on yogurts, on cheese, on manufacturing of the cream cheeses, on manufacturing of spreadable butter, on manufacturing of different type of the spray dried products, and also the technologies are available for is coming up and available, and also getting used by getting installed by various companies for making a high protein milk drinks or high protein yogurt shakes or high protein milk bars. Okay, so these are the technological developments which are taking place. So packaging innovation, technological innovation, and research and development activities on product innovation will be these are the three key factors which would help to improve the dairy industry to a next level. And when the industry improves, the consumer also gets a better product, which is safe to consume, hygienic, and which is good to improve the nutritional status. So these are few things which I thought I would share to you. And apart from that, going forward, as I told you that last 50 years or 70 years, we were developing at a very, very slow pace. But if you look at last 10 years and now next 10 years, we will be the, of course, everybody knows that India is the largest producer of milk in the world, in the entire international community. And there's a huge distance between the first and second producer. And we will continue to be number one milk producing country for the years to come. And what we expect is that the future holds is that right now, currently, we are doing about 65% of the milk is 60 to 65% of the milk is handled by an unorganized sector. We expect that that would come down to 30%. So, whatever the milk we produce, about 200 million metric tons in a year, around 70% would be handled by the organized sector, be it a cooperative or be it a private or small to medium sized to large players. So, when such a shift takes place, rest assured that the quality and the availability of the products will be in a much better way. What we also expect is that we also expect the per capita consumption of the milk will go up from the current 400 ml to at least 650 ml in next 5 to 7 years period. So that is one of the key factor to improve again the general public health of the health and nutrition of the general public. So when the per capita consumption of milk goes up, so is the case with the per capita consumption of other dairy products also, be it by ice creams or be it yogurts and be it any other products. But now what the dairy industry is also looking for is that how best we can reduce the sugar content in various products, because most of the places, most of the products, we do have a higher level of sugar content, of course, which is required for the product taste and acceptability. But now the consumers, trend is shifting from the high sugar, high calorie products to the low sugar and low calorie products. So the industry is also now working on it. So the sky is an option. And earlier we could see that there were only cooperatives and some medium-sized private people were involved in dairy development. Now, since last 5 years, I'm seeing the trend, every small player, every person who has about 100 cows or 50 cows is also becoming an entrepreneur, because they see a lot of potential in becoming a businessman and creating a value to his produce. You may produce about 50 liters or 100 liters, and you can sell it as a milk in a specialty form, or you can sell it as a product coming from a single origin farm. And you can also convert into a value-added product and reach it to the little higher level, little larger areas of the population. So there are so many people who have come into this sector, and there are so many people who are also waiting to come into this area. And many of the technocrats are also leaving their jobs and joining this dairy industry to make this industry is one of their livelihoods. And there's a huge opportunities available for each and every one. And there's a consumer for every category of the product, be it a 5 rupees pack or be it a 5,000 rupees or 500 rupees pack. So there's a market available, consumers are available, opportunities are plenty. It is how best we are going to make use of those opportunities is the question mark. And I am sure the people who are participating in this in the program, I'm seeing that a lot of youngsters and a lot of students and a lot of entrepreneurs should take an oath that yes, I'm going to do something for the community, and I'm also going to do something for the industry. And together we grow, and together we come out with I have been telling to all the entire the forums wherever I speak that this malnutrition is one of the biggest problem as far as India is concerned, because 70% of the people feeding the remaining 30% of the underprivileged, underworking capacity people. So it is a stress which is putting us on everybody. So our aim, we should take a oath that no one in India should be below poverty line, and everybody should get at least 3 square meals going forward. And with that, I thank you. Thanks the university and the organizers for giving me an opportunity to address to you. And thanks a lot. And have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We at Periyar University Business Incubation Confederation is very happy and proud to have you as our mentor now. With your permission, only one question I would like to ask from audience,
Right.
which I think you can answer. Your experience should answer such kind of question. What is the biggest struggle you face in implementation of your plans as an entrepreneur in this new normal? This question is from a new dairy entrepreneur. So he wants some takes from you, some suggestions from you so that he could implement.
Limitations?
What limitations you face in this new normal, in this lockdown kind of scenarios, while implementing your strategies?
See, the new normal has given us a lot of problems as well as a lot of opportunities also. The new normal has affected the logistics.
Yes, sir.
It has affected the HoReCa segment, that is what we call the hotels, restaurants, and cafeterias. It also affected the institutional sales. But at the same time, it has also given us a lot of opportunities for those who are having the logistics to operate at the nook and corner of the country. It has also given us a lot of opportunities to sit across the table and think and develop the new products which meet the daily demand. And now look at it, last 1 year I have been seeing the paneer consumption has gone up like anything. Yogurt's consumption has gone up like anything. Cheese also has gone up like anything. People have shifted from loose milk to the Tetra Pak milk. So there are opportunities. But one of the opportunity what I see in this sector is going to be a lot of development in the e-commerce. Okay, I think the door delivery is going to be one of the home delivery is going to be one of the key factors going forward. So I think we all have to gear up in all those things. But otherwise, I don't see much of a hurdles going forward. Whatever happened, past. Okay, period. Let us look at the future, and the future is very bright.
Definitely, sir. Great, sir. Thanks for your time, sir. We understand your hectic schedule. Thanks for your time for us. Thanks for joining today. We'll do great works together, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, Gautam. Thanks to all.
Thank you, sir.